I've been wearing this Nothing watch or CMF Watch Pro for the last week, and I wanted to go ahead and give you my 1 week review. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if this is the right smartwatch for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. I've been wearing this watch for about a week now. The CMF Watch Pro. This is a subsidiary brand of Nothing Tech that makes the Nothing phone. And this is one of their least expensive smartwatches that they sell under their CMF brand. So as you can see, it is a fairly large watch. It has a 1.96 inch AMOLED display. It has up to 13 days of battery life is what CMF has on their site. I've been getting about 5 to 7 on a single charge, which has been great. It's IP68 water and dust resistant. It has built-in GPS. It has Bluetooth. The frame is an aluminum alloy frame. So for watches at this price point, usually the smartwatches are made out of plastic. So this is made out of aluminum alloy. The display can display up to 600 nits of brightness. It's a very bright display, very vibrant, easy to see in direct sunlight. It is a 410 by 502 resolution display. So there's a lot of real estate here. It does feature an always-on display. So when it's on the wrist and it's recognized, you will see that it has an always-on display that will show up. Let me go ahead and put this on. So I have it enabled in the smart mode for always-on display, which will recognize when it's on your wrist and when it's not. So that's the always-on display there. It does have some custom watch faces. The silicone rubber band here, this orange one, is a 22 millimeter band. You can pretty much use any 22 millimeter strap on here. It does feature quick release. So on the bottom here, go ahead and take this off. On the bottom here, it does have the little quick release pins. Since we're looking at the bottom of the watch, we have a plastic backing. We have our sensors here, and then we have our charging pins. The watch features heart rate sensor, SpO2, sleep tracking, and stress. So these are all available on the CMF Watch Pro. Looking around the side of the watch, we just have a single button that we press to get into the menus, and then we have a single speaker. You can make and receive calls on this watch. Please note that this is more of a Bluetooth extension. It is not a full smartwatch capability like a Samsung or an Apple Watch, where if you want to use the watch for phone calls, it does not have a SIM card. So you will need your watch, and it's basically just an extension of your phone. Go ahead and dive into the settings here. So this is our main display. If we press and hold down, we can select different watch faces. So there are a few watch faces that come pre-installed. So this is the first watch face here, very minimalistic of Nothing's products. If we go ahead and swipe to the left, here's another face. This one just has some basic information, has our time, has the current weather outside. We go ahead and press down, slide again. This gives us the day, date, time, all in text. We can go ahead and swipe again. This is another watch face that comes with the watch pre-installed. And then if we swipe one more time, this is our custom watch face. So you can only have one custom watch or custom dial on the watch at a time. So unfortunately, there are no other watch faces to choose from on the watch. You'll have to use the CMF Watch app, which we'll dive into in just a minute. If we go ahead and swipe again, we have our activity counter. So this will show our activities for that day. This goes over your step counts, your calories burned, and exercise. We swipe again, we have our heart rate measuring. This will show our beats per minute, and it'll show our high and low heart rate. We swipe over again. We have a weather application that goes over the air quality. It gives us the temperature, the highs and lows, very minimalistic. We swipe again. This is for our sleep tracking, and this will show us what our goal is, what our current hours are, and then it will give us a update as whether if we slept good or if we need improvement. Swipe again, and this is to make and receive phone calls. So you can either click on the keypad. If you know the phone number, you can just easily dial that. If we go into our contacts, you can see contacts there, and then you can go into your recent calls and make calls from there. If we swipe again, you'll see that it just goes back to the same home page. If you swipe the other direction, it's the same, so it works in a carousel fashion. Okay, so if we swipe down, that will put us into our quick settings. And so we have some options here in the quick settings. We have our do not disturb, we have our flashlight, we have our brightness control, we have our battery saving mode, we have our raise to wake, and then we have our settings. The watch does not have auto brightness, so you do have to manually adjust the display. But as I said, the display does go up to 600 nits of brightness, and it gets quite bright in outdoor scenarios. At night, I usually have to turn this down under halfway because the dial is so vibrant. If we swipe up from the bottom, that will show us our notifications. So these are just basic notifications. Once you click on it, you can see some information. If you swipe away, it will then disappear. If we press the button on the side here, we'll press in once, and that will take us into our menu. So we have exercise records, we have our heart rate, our blood oxygen sensor, our activities, our sleep, our stress, phone calls. You can control the music from your watch on your phone. So this does not feature any streaming services like Spotify or YouTube Music. It just will use the music that's on your phone and allow you to control it. There is a camera remote, which we'll get into in just a bit. We have our weather application. There is a breathing exercise. The voice assistant, basically it enables your Google Assistant on your phone or your voice assistant, and then uses the speaker through the watch. Then we have some basic features like a stopwatch, timers, alarms, calculator, flashlight. We have a Find My Phone feature, and then we have some more settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the exercise. So there is, as I said, I think previously, there's about 110 sport modes listed on this watch. So if we click on more, we can go ahead and see what's available. Now you'll notice here that it says that we need to set the common sports section on the app. So you do have to use the app for a lot of features, but as you can see, we have all kinds of exercise here. We've got some boxing, we've got skiing, and then if we want to see more, we'll go into that app, which we'll go into in just a little bit. Our exercise records, that's just going to show our exercise that we did. So this was an exercise. It shows the elapsed time, how many calories burned. But as you can see, there's no other information there. And if we go ahead and go to heart rate, then this will go in and this will measure our heart rate. So if I go ahead and strap this on, let's see, let's just get that on the wrist. Okay, and it'll take just a minute. You'll see that it's measuring my current heart rate, and then it will come back and give us some information. So let's talk about the durability of this watch. So far, I haven't had any issues with the watch itself. I've taken it outside, I've used it for exercise, haven't had any issues with it. Um, so it's held up quite nicely. Some of my other watches. We'll go ahead and get out of the heart rate there, and we'll go ahead and get back in here. So we have our blood oxygen. So if we go ahead and click measure, that's going to go ahead and measure our blood oxygen level. So let me just stay still here for a minute and we'll let that do its thing. It'll take just a few minutes here to do the measurement. I think it's about, it takes about 60 seconds or so for it to process. Okay, and it's just about done doing the measurement. Just trying to hold still, try not to talk too much during the recording. So let's go ahead and, so if we go into activity, that will just bring us into our activity rings. We go ahead and click back here. If we go into sleep, that will show us our sleep information, which will show you in the watch there. We have our stress monitoring, so we can go ahead and monitor stress if that's something you're into and that you want to monitor on a regular basis. If we go ahead and swipe back, then we have our phone call settings, we have our music settings. It does have a camera remote, which we'll go into in just a bit. We have our weather, so we can go in and see our weather information like we saw from the widget there. It has the voice assistant, so that will enable your Google Assistant on your phone and play through the speakers here. And that is about it for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the application, the CMF Watch application. Okay, so this is the CMF Watch application that you can download from the Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone, you can download it from the App Store. The watch is compatible with both. So on the home screen here, we can see some basic information. So we have the exercise information, we have our stress level, our blood oxygen level, our heart rate, and then our sleep. So if you click on one of these, you can dive into more information here. So if we go to sleep data, let me just go ahead and go into one here. So here's where it was monitoring sleep. So it has the duration of sleep. It goes over different types of sleep. So you have deep, core, REM, and awake. And then there's some more information here that will tell you what the ratio was, your core sleep, and percentages. If we go ahead and swipe back here, then we have our heart rate. So we can dive in and see more information on our heart rate. If we go into the exercise, so this was the one that I showed you on the watch earlier. So this gives us more information that we can dive into from that exercise. It has your heart rate, your maximum, minimum, and then it goes over anaerobic, aerobic, fat burning, warm up, and so forth. If we go ahead and swipe back again, we have our blood oxygen, so we can dive into more information there. And you can see some information here, 97%. And it goes over active, sleep, and if it needs attention. And then we have our stress level, which is the same. You can dive in and take a look at those settings. Okay. So if we click on the little icon here, this is what takes us into our GPS. This goes over, these are the 4 options for exercise by default that are set. So we have outdoor walk, running, mountain hike, or outdoor cycling. If we jump here into the watch, this is where we have our battery information. This is where we can download other watch faces. This is the common sports section that we were talking about. So this is where you can see all of the sports that are available and add these to your watch as needed. You can see there is just a ton of different exercises in here. You've got stuff that, let's see, We've got all kinds of dance. We've got baseball. We've got billiards. We've got wrestling, swing, if you're into the swing, kite flying, hula hooping, everything you could think of. There's just a ton in here. If we go ahead and go back here, then we have our notifications. So this is where we can turn on notifications for different applications. We'll let that go ahead and load so you can turn on and off different notifications here. And if we go back, we have a call reminder that we can set if we want to use that. We have contacts. So one thing is your contacts are not loaded to your watch. You have to go into the contacts and assign those. So you would assign people that you would call on a regular basis. We have our health monitor. We go in here. This is where we can turn on and off certain things. So we have our auto stress monitoring if we want that on, 24/7 heart rate monitoring. We have these water reminders and stand up. I have those turned off because those are very annoying. We have our alarms, and then we have, if we click on more, we have the find device, the do not disturb, and the raise to wake. We can set those through here. And then we also have the about. We can also update. If there's an update, we can go ahead and click on that, and it will go out and look for an update. And then the last one here is where we set our goals, which is kind of strange. So if you want to set your exercise goals, you actually set it here instead of under exercise here, which is kind of strange. But and there's some other information here. Contact us. There's some frequently asked questions. So that is the CMF Watch app. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the pros. So you can pick this watch up, like I said, for $69, $70 US on Amazon. It has 5 to 7 days of battery life. You could get up to 13 according to CMF. It's a fitness tracker, so it will do your basic fitness tracking. And overall, the build quality is not too bad for the price point. I do like the fact that it has the aluminum alloy frame versus that plastic. It is very lightweight as well, so it's not very obtrusive on the wrist. It does fit many different wrist sizes, as you can see with the adjustments here. Some of the cons, it does not have the auto brightness, which would be nice if it adjusted when you go in outside and inside. There is no interactive watch faces, so if you click on any of these, they do not go to any of the perspective features like the battery or the step counter or the weather or any of those, the calendar. One thing I do want to mention is the Bluetooth connection is not all that reliable. I've had issues where it disconnects. You have to open the app and then it will reconnect. So a lot of times when you go into the application, you'll see, let me just show you here real quick. If we go into the CMF Watch app, sometimes when you go in here, you'll see that it says disconnected. So if I go ahead and close, let's go ahead and close out that application and then let's open it up. And generally what happens when you do that, you'll see it shows it's disconnected and it'll take a second for it to reconnect to the watch. So you essentially need to have that application running in the background at all times. Let's see, other than that, the other thing that I wanted to mention is because of this version that I got, which has a shiny metal case around it, it does show fingerprints. So if you don't like that, I would suggest getting the matte version, which is more of a blasted case, and it won't be as shiny and won't pick up those fingerprints. But overall, let me know what you think in the comments below if this is something that you're thinking about picking up. I think definitely for the price point, it's worth the money. And if you're not looking for all of the extra features that the Apple Watch and the Samsung watches give you for, $300-400 for $69, this is a great Bluetooth accessory that works on both of your Android and your iOS devices. I appreciate you watching, and if you're enjoying the video, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell notification so you'll get updated when new videos are uploaded, and we'll catch you in the next one.